Derivatives trading involves substantial risk of loss and is not suitable for all investors. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results.
So stressful when the world's on fire. Good God. I can't look at this, guys. Like, my strategy is you buy it and you hope that you got a good spot. Yeah, but we all think you're crazy. You don't fight this. No way. The markets are freaking out and you don't think that anything is wrong? Come back tomorrow and I'll lose it all. Should be fun. Good morning, everybody. It is the 12th of May. I remember that because yesterday was the 11th. It is the 12th. Actually, I changed it in the title too. Hey, cool. We're all good. Anyways, so let's go and look at the action. Markets continue to be interesting. So, let's see here. So we had a pretty good move up yesterday. So remember, we came to things and we were down a little bit. And you know, they had a pretty strong uptrend, and it really was looking to me when I was looking at the tape. And of course, after the stream, I don't actively look at the markets necessarily, but you know, looking at my footprint chart and so forth, do you see a bit of like buy the dip type behavior? You can kind of see it on the chart here. A lot of wicks down here on the bottom, right? Actually over here, right? So they did buy it up, and then after the market closed, there was quite an aggressive sell. I'm not sure what caused that. Maybe some earnings news, something like that. Anyways, they were down. The Asian session traded it down, and then here the European session right back up. So they failed to make a lower low, but there's a little bit of resistance up here too. They're stopping it from making it higher than yesterday's RTH high. So we're kind of we're starting to get into a tight zone here, I'd say. But I mean, look, they're so close to that, you know, post crisis high, let's call it. I don't know. It's the market's getting kind of weird to me. Just my feel on it. It's oh yes. Also today, the Federal Reserve is going to start its ETF, it's a corporate bond asset buying program. So that's going on. I am seeing some activity in the Treasury. So if we come over here to the 10-year, well, there was that big move up on the 7th. They're coming back down. I do see a little bit of support on the book right now, but who knows? They could probably plow through that. You can see the spread kind of moving sideways there. What about the knob? Spread knob still going up, huh? Interesting. And then let's just look at the dollar here. Dollar, a really important thing for us to look at. And the dollar is actually getting hit pretty hard today, and 60 going up. So it looks like maybe some of the run up in the E-mini overnight was because of dollar weakness. That's curious. I don't know if that matters a ton, but we'll see. We'll see what drives it. Anyways, how are you guys today? I think, so I'm still kind of in like a transitionary period. So, I'm not so sure I want to take any longer trades. Last week I was taking some longer trades. If something shows up that's really, really obvious, then maybe I will take it. But otherwise, I think we are going to try and scout for points again and try and work on our order placement. I've been doing an okay job at identifying the edges. But it kind of, if it goes, it goes, and it doesn't, it doesn't. So the percentage on it is pretty much a wash right now. Yesterday pretty much came out even after everything was said and done. But I do want to change one thing here. If I come into the strategy manager, I have this scalp strategy. I want to do 5 instead of 4, just because I noticed that it was almost always taking out both of those. So we're going to change it to 5. Also, I'm going to be a little bit, I'm going to change things up a little bit pre-market because I noticed that those trades weren't really working pre-market. So yeah. I might keep this up because we might use that pre-market though. Let's see how everybody in Discord is doing. Oh wait, we need to turn on the Texas. Oh, we did. Okay, there we go. We just got to refresh this. Good morning, John. How are you? Are you trading the ZB today? Because it looks like the Europeans were in the interest rate channel were much more active this morning. Yeah, something going, but it might be just movement from corporate bond prime program. My night was okay. Nothing too special yesterday. I spent most of the night venting to people, and I downloaded a game called I don't know how they say it, but it's like a beat game. It's like Guitar Hero, except for that it's about moving your mouse to the beat. And I've kind of been, I wanted something to fill my mouse accuracy uh, itch, because there's not a whole lot of games right now that really get me like that. Not until what is this game? I don't know. There's a game that's going to be released that will kind of do that. Oh, by the way, do we get news here? Pay attention, Seth. Okay. Oh, we got a couple of numbers. So we're looking for the inflation rate, core inflation rate month over month. We're looking for a reading of negative spot 2. That's it today. No, there is a couple of other things. There is some decent news today. Okay, here we go. Not a whole lot of reaction to it. It's not really significant news.
Mark LC says CPI.
No, I don't see that. Okay, so core inflation rate negative spot 4 versus an expected negative spot 2. Inflation rate year over year spot 3 versus spot 4. Core inflation rate year over year is 1 spot 4 versus an expected 1 spot 7, and the inflation rate month over month for April is negative spot 8 versus an expected negative spot 8. So kind of in line. Mini just turning down a little bit, but not really anything too interesting. Anyways, oh, and I did get your your template worked. It was pretty much the way that I already had my chart set up. Anyways, John, he was sending me a template for ZB because we've been working on something. But my issue is still with that particular signal is that I can't tell when it gives that signal at the high. I can't tell that that's it. But I haven't really been watching the order flow with it, so maybe that would be different if I watched it. I think that I want to spend at least one more day though scalping for ticks in the E-mini. And then if that works, maybe we can go back over into the treasury market, because now that the ETF buying program is going on and everything, maybe there will actually be some fighting around in treasuries. Like lately, they've just been so quiet. It seems like.
Gary Rich says, how can one be upset? We live in the USA, not something like Canada. Life is great when you like in the greatest country on the planet.
Wait, who was upset? I don't understand what you're responding to, Gary. Jigsaw has a video out today. Have to watch that later. Anything else traders are saying. Let's see here. Brannigan Barrett, Greenspan believed bursting bubbles were unavoidable, but seemingly they are becoming more frequently. 2001, 2008, 2020. Coronavirus is a rare opportunity to hit reset and do things right and not replicate some of the mistakes of the past 20 years. We don't need more leverage. We need more sustainability. So what would you do instead? I don't quite understand. You would just legislate all of the debt away? I don't think that it works like that, dude. I mean, I do agree with him that what we've got right now is a bubble, but okay. So that turn did create a lower low in the E-mini. We might get an opportunity here. I don't think I can just. I mean, normally I could have. I probably already missed my good spots, but it'd be interesting. I mean, it kind of looks to me like the market wants to sell it, you know?
Mark LC says Bloomberg reporting CPI news.
I don't know. Let's go to
Gary
Forex
Rich
Market.
says, did you read the NY Fed and buying ETFs? Yes, keep this bubble inflated.
Oh yeah.
Tony T the Entertainer says, what's the big gappers as of RN?
Hey Tony, that's that sounds like a new name. So welcome to the stream. Oh, you're right. Yes. Well, isn't it the Fed is starting its program to purchase corporate bond ETFs? Right? Is that what we're talking about? Right? The whole thing is just, I don't know, man. The issue I have with this, it goes, I've said it a trillion times, but I just can't shake it. If it's working so well, if everything is all so hunky-dory based on what we would be led to believe based on the price of the S&P 500, then why are measures like this still necessary?
Tony T the Entertainer says, what you think of NVAX?
I don't think anything of NVAX. I don't look at individual stocks. I'm not a stock day trader. We trade futures. So what we're looking at is much more macro based and frankly much more trade based. Like, we're trying to identify spots where there are trapped traders, where maybe there are arbitrage
Gary Rich
opportunities.
says, have to read the April 9th article. The terms of the burying.
Oh, okay. The whole thing is just kind of a little weird to me. Like, the stock market is the stock market is doing so well, and there is not nobody saying, hey, maybe we can cut some of these programs back. The question really becomes then, if we continue to move up.
Test.
Hey, there you go. If we continue to move up, how far does it have to go before the Federal Reserve says, oh, okay, hold on, maybe we made a mistake, right? Because at some point, even Powell's going to have to say something. And when they do, it'll be ugly. But it wouldn't be as ugly as if they just continued to let the charade go on, right? At least that's my guess. I'm not like a,
Gary Rich says, it's not the price of the indices. It's about the debt and credit markets need to stay going.
Well, the thing that I'm concerned about, the thing that I'm looking at that seems to kind of be like unsustainable to me, is that you've got like all these pension funds in Japan, for instance. They literally had to pass a law. They literally had to pass a law in Japan to allow the pension funds to come over to the United States and buy our treasuries for freaking 0.5, for like a quarter to a half a point interest rate per year. Literally nothing, just to stay afloat. And then you have all of these municipal pension programs, some of them in New York and Chicago quite lucrative and underfunded. And Here, how are these pension funds going to make up the gap? Because the interest rates are so ridiculously low, and they're going to stay so ridiculously low for a long time. And now there's even some people. I mean, I'm really don't think it's going to happen, but there are some people in the market starting to price in that the Fed could have to go negative on interest rates. And if the Fed goes negative on interest rates, then everybody is negative on interest rates, which kind of sets up a dangerous situation, I think. Because yeah, they're supposed to be negative, and like it's supposed to just force people to push their money back into the economy. But a pension fund can't do that. What are they going to do? They're screwed. They're insolvent at that point. So then you're going to have another crisis, a crisis of insolvency, where it's going to be like, if we don't bail out pension fund from Chicago or whatever the deal is, then grandma's going to starve. Like, that's what it's going to turn into. There's another crisis brewing on that front, I think. Just got like maybe a reversal sign there. It seems unsustainable to me. And if there's that much risk floating around out there,
Gary Rich says the futures Eurodollar is pricing negative rates in December 2020 or March 2021.
Yeah. Well, I was hearing that it was in the 30-day Fed funds rate or something was where some people were starting to predict negative. But I mean, when you look at the Fed Watch tool, the Fed Watch tool says that it's going to remain at a quarter of a point for, years, as far out as you can see, that the Federal Reserve is not going to change the interest rate. I don't know if they're going to do it. I really don't think that the world can handle the United States going in negative interest rates. It'll probably push a lot of money out into the markets, but it's going to screw things up everywhere else. Like the banks are going to lose tons of money on that. And I don't know the consequences of everything that happens with negative interest rates, but like literally everybody serious banker person in the United States thinks that the United States going to negative interest rates under any circumstances is a bad idea. So like what you gonna do?
Gary Rich says I mentioned the Fed opened the swap lines for all central banks a while back.
Yes, I recall. I've read about that as well. Basically, everybody has access to as many dollars as they need. That one, I'm not quite sure I understand why that one is a concern. That sounds to me like what they should be doing and what you would expect. I didn't really see like buying down there, but there was this 400 down at 29, 28.50. Kind of reversed it fast. Still a little too slow for me, I think, to really try and take one here. Maybe the top of the hour. Also, I'm noticing that the treasury is a little flippy here. Like the level 2 has gone back and forth a few times now. Oh, yeah, the CPI number, that's just the core inflation rate that I had listed out. Negative spot 8 versus spot 7. Market didn't really seem to care about it. Let's see here. Donald Trump is tweeting. Nothing too. Let's see here. Oh, he did say, remember this, every governor who has sky-high approval on their handling of the coronavirus, and I'm happy for them all, could in no way have gotten those numbers or had that success without me and the federal government's help, from ventilators to testing. We made it happen. Okay, he's trying to take credit for it now. Okay, whatever. I don't care. I've seen a lot of political back and forth about that one, but I don't think that it really matters to us. Grinnell has declassified the list of Flynn unmasking Obama administration officials. Interesting. Okay, so look, there was that dip, and then they came up, and they're a little bit higher. I'm not even sure why they dipped in the first place. It's just moves. Where is? Oh, you know what? This one right down here, I have something that's wrong because I have these. First of all, I want these to be greenish. I'll make the dark colored like a dark green and the up color a light green. How's that? But we need to change it so that it is on price change. There we go. Kind of tempted to pull up I've been noticing lately that I have a tendency to want to pull up something else. Like, well, okay, I wonder what about X thing or Y thing. So now I'm thinking, well, let's look at the footprint chart. Was there something that happened down in there that I didn't necessarily see when I was looking at the tape? Like, I don't know. They look close to a new high again, though. Hmm. Oh my gosh. Funny things on Twitter. I won't read that one. You guys don't care. Well, look at that go. I think they got that. I think they got that overnight high in their sights. Doesn't it look? Sure looks like it, huh? Okay. Sorry, you can hear all of the noises of me like fidgeting. I'm feeling a little fidgety this morning for whatever reason. Okay. I can hear the baby crying. Yeah, he's unhappy about something. Can you guys probably can't hear that, can you? Hmm. Still pretty tight. kind of no wondering. I'm going to build the volume here. Well, there was
Gary Rich says I posted a quick
1,033.
note last week in Discord. It was
Oh,
insightful
yeah.
and it is true. Deflation and stagnation is the new normal for the next 2 to 3 years.
Yeah, I've been reading your notes, and I'd say that every one that you've posted has been insightful. I mean, they're kind of more macro level stuff, right? But I definitely agree that the way that things are going, they're basically creating. It's like they're creating their own problem, right? Because like there's deflation, but then the things that they do to fight inflation kind of prevent real growth from happening. So you never get true inflation. Basically, they're basically doing stuff that ensures that regular people never really get their hands on money to really get a leg up, or to help pull themselves up into a new income bracket where they would have more money to spend and actually create consumer inflation. It doesn't happen. They basically spend more money into the system. It goes to the institutions, and and they just rotate the money around, and it doesn't actually help anybody. Well, I guess it prevents the economy from falling apart, but Stacey Abrams endorses Joe Biden. Oh, I'm surprised. I really thought she was going to endorse Donald Trump. Oh well. You missed that one, Donnie. Hmm. All of a sudden, it's interesting where they will just turn dead. Oh, I look at the chart, makes sense now, but I certainly wouldn't have predicted that that would have been a spot that they would kind of stall out at.
Gary Rich says yes, that is correct. The central banks fighting deflation by adding money to inflate just causes financial repression for many. It sucks but can't fight it, I just look for opportunities to prosper.
Yeah.
Winston's mom says good morning, everyone. Good morning, Speculator Seth. And here is where I will ask you all to please hit like. Thanks.
Thanks. So, like, the one that drives me nuts is like, so Congress is talking about doing another stimulus package, which again, it's like the stock market is doing so well. If everything is doing so well, why do we need another stimulus package? If these measures are working so well, why do we need another stimulus package? And I think the answer is that businesses really are suffering, and that the measures that they're doing aren't really doing anything to help them. They're just kind of creating an illusion that something is going on because they're pumping money around in the stock market. So they want, like, to give everybody affected by coronavirus $2,000 a month, is I think the proposal that I was hearing going around. And I'm like, well, okay, so we're going to give them money, and then we're going to take on debt, and then we're going to have to pay it back in taxes later. Why don't you just not take our taxes? Why don't they just do a payroll tax cut instead? Would be the same thing, wouldn't it? But of course, we know politically they're not going to do that, because payroll tax is supposed to pay for Social Security and Medicare and so forth. And they're afraid that if they pull the payroll tax and that's successful, that people will say, oh, hey, actually, I would rather have those taxes than Social Security. So they're never going to do that. Mm-mm.
Gary Rich says now you are getting it. This whole adventure is a joke. I came to this realization long time ago.
Well, but I mean, this is why, though, why I do what I do. Well, and I'm not talking about this stream, but I was interested in politics. I could have gone into a government job, but I realized that the people in government don't really know what they're doing and don't really have a whole lot of power to change things. Like I decided that you could be so much more influential just doing things on your own. Because the reality of it is that the incentives for the politicians are just in a way that certain things just can't be fixed. Mm. Well, it's been here for what, 10 minutes now? Well, they are kind of attacking the offers still, but like, look, it's not. Doesn't look like either side is making much progress. And the treasuries, by the way, look incredibly uncertain to me as well. Balanced. Hmm. That one they kind of waited for them to stock on the offer before they hit it, but then look, they sold it down. Okay, 596 at 33. UK bankers face months more of home working. US bankers and traders will be working from their kitchens or bedrooms for at least a year
Bot
under some
says ZB
scenarios.
trading in a 6-tick range below the 8:30 news price at 179.03.
Yeah. Well, the treasuries
Bot
are a
says
tick
doesn't seem
lower
able to
than
break through.
they're a tick lower than they were. It kind of looks like that the liquidity is on the side of the buyers, but that the momentum is down. So I don't know if they're gonna buy it down or what. And they've definitely, like, everything in the E-mini is caught up to this node that we got at 33 now. Which doesn't really mean a whole lot, but okay. Well, that one, it was such a slow location. I don't think that even though I um, got my target on that one, I don't think I can really call that a good trade because I don't want to be in for that long, right? But on the other hand, the thing that we're trying to achieve, which is accuracy, we did get. So we were in for a long time. Didn't really ever
Bot
go
says
against us.
question, do you know if your market depth tape has the same problem at 10 a.m. as the reconstructed tape did?
No, it probably does not. And I think the reason is because the how do I explain this? I don't actually know 100% what caused that bug. Okay, but I have a theory. So I forget exactly what the code is, but I have a list here. So there's different data structures. I'm going to go into some computer science stuff. I'm going to go into this because I think that programming is really essential, and I think that this is an important concept about programming to understand. Okay, actually, let's do it. Pull this over here.
Bot says adding the HH format to the time seems to have corrected the issue with the recon tape.
Okay, so here we've got okay, an array is a contiguous section of memory with points like this. Okay. Right. So what it does is it says, I know that to store an integer, I need, 16 bytes, right? Right. So to create an array with this much size, then I need to allocate this much space, right? Well, you don't always know how big it's going to be, do you? So if I allocate it here in this section of memory, and then right here, I end up putting other stuff, right? Okay. That means that if I want to put a fifth element in here, it has to go and move this whole thing to somewhere else so that it can all be in a contiguous section of the memory. Okay. So we do something. So here's something else that they do is we'll create an array list. Okay. So an array list is here's your number, and then down here at the bottom, there's a pointer to the next element. Right. Okay. This is still 16 bytes, and then this is a pointer. This is a certain amount. Okay. But these can be anywhere in between, and there can be all of this data in between them. It doesn't care because there's a pointer to the next element. Okay. Now, there's some issues with this too, because if you want to say, where's the third element, I have to transverse through this, right? I have to go, okay, 1, 2, 3. Okay. So there's issues with that.
Gary Rich says, is that a ninja issue on reconstructing the tape? Or are you asking for too much data to load? The program can't handle that.
Right. So what is happening is I go in and I have a date.
HEXMAN says with Seth Anthony.
Right. You get this sort of a thing, okay, where I have a date, except for that it's a string. It's being stored as a string like this, okay, and then I think that it's in an array list of sorts, okay. And what they're saying is, okay, each one of these ends up being 16 bytes, but then all of a sudden I come in and I put one in that is 12 or 10. I guess it's 10, 01, 00, right? All of a sudden, this one is one character more than this one. And so it says, oh, well, I was putting them in assuming that they were all like this, but now that this is bigger, I have to go in and reallocate everything. So when it tries to reallocate everything, it's trying to move the whole list, and that's what causes it to crash. I believe. I would have to be able to debug it live when it was going, but I guessed that that's what the issue was, and so what my solution was I just added the leading 0 onto it, and that seemed to fix the issue. Now now why doesn't it happen in the market depth tape? I think that happens because the I'm showing a slightly different time. So the time that I'm showing already has these zeros at the end of it. Is that it? No, hold on. Let's see. Oh, by the way, I need to pin. Okay. So if I go to the reconstructed tape. Let's just make it relatively small. Oh, okay, so they are the same. So I think that the difference on this one might be that we weren't getting very different sizes.
Bot says, I guess we'll know if it works in 26 minutes.
Yeah. But I've had the market depth tape up every day since I've made it, and it's never crashed. So it doesn't have the same problem. But it's just gonna it has something to do with that the reconstructed tape just happened to be on the line between when it had to get reallocated, and for whatever reason C# is choking when it has to do that. Something that I might do, maybe something that we should do, is go and change it back so that it creates the bug again, but with the added debugging information to see what the actual error that it gave was. But anyways, so yeah, so the thing that you should take from the that discussion about data structures, though.
Bot says, I just wanted you to know it was all right now.
Oh, okay, sure. The thing that just kind of put that in the back of your mind, because then when you're going to get into advanced data structures like hash tables and graphs, and you start to get into data structures that the way the data is structured allows you to carry out an algorithm that you can do things that you wouldn't be able to do otherwise. So you need to have that foundation so that when we get to the advanced data structures, you know what's going on, right? Because again, the computing thing is only going to become more important in trading. And if you're relying on stuff that are like indicators built into the platforms that everybody has, it's going to be really, really hard to generate excess returns with that information. So if you're going to create an indicator or whatever it is, you're going to need something that's complicated. And you're going to have to understand how to make a complicated data structure in order to create a decision tree of some sort. Right? So there you go. There's your lesson on data structures for today. It looks like they moved up a little bit, and now they're coming back to that area. They didn't. Oh well, they made 3650. So was that a new high? I'm not sure. I think maybe it was. But they sure turned back down quickly, didn't they? So Hexman, you asked, it was Seth Anthony. I don't know what that is about. That question makes no sense. Seth is just
Bot
Seth.
says all right now.
Oh wait, no, I didn't want to do that. I clicked it the wrong way. Open it in a new tab. Mm. Oh, that's funny. I tried to put studio in front of it. Oh, is that a song? Okay, so they come back down through it.
HEXMAN says it's Anthony. I
Oh,
changed my
right,
name
right,
into
right, right.
HEXMAN, remember?
Yes, I remember. I remember. Haven't paid attention to Hex. Oh, Bitcoin didn't really move yesterday, though. That was kind of interesting, wasn't it? Everybody's all excited for the happening, and then nothing happened. uh, let's move. Well, I guess we could do it like that. Let's do it like that.
HEXMAN says lol.
I'm going to put this right here. Okay. So I guess the drop in cumulative delta on that move was significant.
HEXMAN says we got some drama with Chico Crypto during the halving.
Fed's Bullard. Fed programs have had a clear announcement effect on markets. Okay, so this is an interesting comment. So he's saying the market has been boosted by the announcement of our programs long before the programs got put into place. So if the market was trying to front run the program, does the program continue to boost markets? Or does it turn into a like buy the rumor, sell the news sort of a thing? Like as soon as the programs start, it's over. I don't know. Well, but I think that these programs would have an appreciable effect on certain markets. I guess though the thing is that just because the Fed is buying corporate bond ETFs and corporate debt doesn't necessarily mean that the stock market has to move up. It means they're more likely to move up, but there can be other things could be going on that end up mattering more. Like a second wave. If a second wave was really a thing or certain areas went back into lockdown, that could definitely have that effect, right? Feds Kashkari, we are not going to fix the economy until we get our hands around the COVID-19 virus. Okay, Cash. Thanks for that important and insightful comment. There was on Bitcoin yesterday. There was a few sells, but it was like the biggest non-event ever. White House spokeswoman says Trump has no interest in renegotiating the China trade deal. Okay, so they came back, but they're still kind of in this tight area around 33. They extended it to the downside by a tick. So they could totally move down more, but for now, this is like a location that I'm just not very fond of. Hmm. Mm.
HEXMAN says the Federal Reserve is buying ETF and corporate bonds, crispy, deeper and deeper.
Yeah, I was. We were just talking about that before you stopped by. Mm. Yeah, this is not. This has been a really. I mean, so the news came out. There was a push down, like what, 4 points, back up, maybe 2 points upside after that. An attack of the high comes back. It's slow. The market has not been this slow for quite some time. This is extremely range bound. I'm sure. I bet that the volatility, the VIX is going to take a dip. So this is another thing: is the the central bank money pumping should be good for trading, but it seems to me that for the really short term trading, that the effect is a little bit of a double-edged sword, because you get decreased range can really screw you up, right? So it kind of depends on what your strategy is. But for a lot of us, volatility, but not too much volatility, is better, and the average range on the E-mini decreasing is not a good thing. Of course, I guess it's still relatively high, but this action this morning is really slow. Like, this is almost equal to late last year when the VIX was like at its lows. Hmm. So there's been a little bit of movement, but they're still kind of indicating they're stuck. Fed's Bullard says a prolonged shutdown risks bankruptcy and depression. Fed's Bullard: negative rates are not a good option for the U.S. economy. They have a mixed track record. I really don't think that the United States will go for negative interest rates. I've kind of been thinking maybe I should make a video on that, but I don't really know if I have enough to say about it to fill 5 minutes. Like, they shouldn't do it. They're probably not going to do it. The end. There's your video. Stay profitable, friends. Well, the Treasury has fallen down here, and as they've done so, they've gotten kind of closer to the liquidity. You see all the liquidity down here? So what might happen is E-mini opens up, pushes higher, bonds take a dip, liquidity catches it. More likely case is the next step for the United States would be a more explicit return to quantitative easing in order to keep interest rates low. Yes, that's what we need. We need to bump the stock market up more. Well, listen, if we had like a second run down, and we were back at like the March lows or whatever, and then they did QE, maybe that would be appropriate. Oh, thanks, bromide. Looks like the VIX did take a dive there. Boeing CEO predicts a major U.S. airline will most likely fold by September. Well, that would be awful. Please don't be Delta. Would it be Delta or is it United? I think United has been getting more hit harder. Okay, they gonna cross over here? I don't think there's so there's kind of this line that I look at that clearly has a lot of market participation when it crosses. There's definitely a lot of algorithms out there looking at this line. But it's not necessarily predictive. And we're in a spot where it's been so tight that they're crossing over the line, but it's not really a big deal. But you still saw a little bit of I don't know how to describe it, but something happened there, like an algorithm did something. Algorithm did something in an area that's probably not the best place to act. Well, somebody was asking me about this tutorial for the button. I don't think that they quite saw it, so let's go and find it for them. To make a quick video, I've been literally been asked this like, no, I said pause and mute. Good grief. There you go. Somebody watched the earthquake video and they're like, what's the timestamp? But then the timestamp is at the top of the comments, dude. Oh, wait, what the heck? All of the comments are gone? Something happened? That's weird. Hmm. Oh, there's a little bit of a boost there. Yeah, 8 minutes to the E-mini opening. Why is the bird streaming? It is too early, bird. Go back to sleep. You heard somebody moving around
Gary Rich
upstairs.
says if Fix gets to 22 and under, the Mako news will matter news-wise. For now it's COVID, a vaccine, reinfection rates, demand destruction, CB stimulus, and politicans stimmy for their citizens.
Yeah. But I mean, here's the thing that I don't understand, Gary Rich, is like, isn't that all like past news? Like what is the next driver? Like honestly, because at this point it seems like that like nothing is really happening and the news is just making up news to make up news. Okay, I need to take care of this bird because I don't know what his deal is, but he needs to shut up. Okay. Oh, whoops. That's so weird. Huh. So all of the comments on that video got removed. Hmm. Now I'm going to have to go and find the timestamp again. That's so weird. All of the comments on that video were gone. There's so many comments on that video, too. Oh, YouTube, what you doing? I feel short of breath today for some reason. I'm too calm, apparently. I slept okay last night, so I don't feel
says
sleepy.
hi and hello from Poland.
Hey, Poland, that's one that I don't think I've had anybody tell me before. How are things doing over there? You're all Poland was relatively lax with lockdown measures on coronavirus, yeah? Yeah, a bit of volume trading there at 29.36.
Iwo Severin says NOP.
Nope.
Iwo Severin says lock down everything.
They locked down everything? Was it like, you get arrested for going outside and your neighbors are all tattling on you if you have anybody over, and how bad?
Iwo Severin says yes.
Mm-hmm. Interesting.
Iwo Severin says 2 meters distance, masks.
So where I live, they told everybody to social distance, but the state didn't put any like punishment in. One of the cities did. One of the cities said, if you're out, we'll arrest you. And everybody
Wealth
thinks that they're
Management
crazy.
says greetings from Seoul.
Hey, We have another guy from Korea.
HEXMAN says same in France until yesterday.
Yeah. Well, it's really weird to me that the governments are all easing restrictions, and now Dr. Fauci, or however you say his name, um, yesterday, coming out and saying that opening too early risks needless deaths. My understanding of it is that the only thing that risks needless deaths is if the hospital capacity is reached. Otherwise, you'd have to be saying we should stay closed until a vaccine, which is ridiculous. So I'm starting to question this guy a little bit. Like, what is the scientific basis that he's making that call on?
HEXMAN says we got unlocked, but pretty sure it won't end for long.
Yeah, well, you notice that I'm noticing that the Europeans, for some reason, are much more concerned about a second wave right now than the United States is. But I mean, we don't really know. They are saying that, as I think it was in Germany, that they unlocked things and then the number of new cases like skyrocketed. But like, of course, that's going to happen. Like you're unlocking things is going to increase the transmission rate. It's super weird to me because what I hear, what I see in the news is like,
HEXMAN says Italy got relocked.
it's like, are people paying attention? You know, am I the only person that feels like that? Like nobody's paying attention here. The whole purpose of lockdown is to prevent hospital capacity from being reached. If you reduce restrictions, the transmission rate is going to increase, the number of new cases is going to increase, and that's okay if your hospital capacity is not reached, because all of these people are going to get it at some point anyways. Unless you lock things down until a vaccine, which is not realistic.
HEXMAN says I flew to Africa and it was only 57 passengers.
My wife is saying.
Factor says and deaths will increase.
My wife is
Wealth
a
Management
flight
says
attendant.
COVID outbreak again in Korea. Lol.
Oh yeah, they're re-outbreaking in Korea, right? Well, so two things. First, my wife, she's a flight attendant. She's not flying right now, but she talks to people, and she said that the number of flights has actually increased a lot. Number two thing is like, so the COVID outbreak in North Korea is kind of interesting because a lot of people are holding North Korea up as an example of, okay, like they had the outbreak and it was quite early and they had a lot of cases, but they were able to tamp down on it and prevent the spread pretty substantially. So this is kind of like a feather in the cap for the crush the curve argument. But the issue is like it's out there now. Like really, you really cannot stop it at this point. Everybody's going to get it at some point until there's a vaccine. It's more and more people are going to get it until there's a vaccine. So if you can't lock things down until we get a vaccine, then you just have to accept the fact that a lot of people are going to catch it. And you might as well let them catch it now. I think if you're like honestly,
HEXMAN says exactly, we can avoid it.
In my opinion, everybody that's healthy should just catch it now. If you don't have a condition, you have a healthy body weight and all of that, and you're not in direct contact with anybody that is susceptible, I think that you should get it now when there's hospital capacity. Get all those people to have it so that, less of them will have to go to the hospital and build up some immunity now. But instead, it's just you can lock things down or not lock things down. And like, this is it's just such a weird, the way it's playing out is so weird, I think. Okay, so they started out everything up. coming, they're reverting back here. Should pay attention, huh?
Gary Rich says in this link, click on current list. The players are in the reverse repo. Many of these are part of primary dealers to the treasury. HEXMAN says soon we will have more death from unemployment and all sides effects.
Yeah. So I hear that a lot, but I think the issue with that argument is it's super hard to quantify that. I don't think that we really completely understand what the human life cost is of a recession. Hmm. Well, it kind of looks like they want to test the other side of this, so let's let them do it and see what happens.
Gary Rich says scroll down to the players and look at the instruments they need to support.
Okay. I see the link. We'll save it. I might probably have to look at it later. Okay, so there is definite buying the dip here. Hmm. That was a little too late. Nope, I guess not. Ooh, that one came close. I think they're going to stop it out. Yeah. That was kind of looking for a reversal. I think that there was a trade there, but I had been late to it. Well, they sold down more than that sell after
Block
the
buy.
initial news.
Vincenzo C says what should I do to catch it? Sniff around like Joe Biden?
I don't know. I guess you need to go to a coronavirus party, right? I don't think that that's a thing yet. Okay.
Gary Rich says remember 2008 when money market funds seized up and needed 1 trillion to unhinge. It was scary, no payrolls, funds flowing, etc., etc.
There's a little bit of an area here at 25. So you can see the absorption, them trying to absorb it before it touches it. Not that they're necessarily trying to prevent it, but that they think that it's by the dip. You can see it all right there on the tape. Okay, so they're going to push down a little bit more. Try to pressure them. Okay, Okay, so there's 28. Oh, that move down was actually quite aggressive. Interesting. That one was maybe too much against the trend. Cool. So I think they got a couple of guys trapped down here. Probably you'd have to move up past like 29.32 to really get them to puke. Wife's moving around upstairs. Okay. So seeing signs of price discovery here. I like that 29.28, but well, I guess that would have worked. Too slow. What the heck is that? Weird. I think what happened is one of the kids is up and is playing a video. And that's what I'm hearing. So they're kind of here at a line. I think that they're going to bounce back down, though. Oh, that one sucked. Hmm. Okay, this spot's a little tight. Hmm. Yeah, I think I was reading the momentum wrong on that one. Sellers are actually working hard here.
RJ Wheel says 16 half target.
Oh, you want it? Do you want the 10-year to drop to 16 half? Hmm. There does seem to be some.
RJ Wheel says ES.
No, yes. Well, look, they
RJ
might
Wheel
jump
says
here.
sorry.
Yeah, missed it.
RJ Wheel says should have said what?
Yeah, no, that's fine. No, not there. Cool. Cool. How are we doing so far? Not bad.
Bot says 50% VIX range target area 2910.97. Bot says minus 100% VIX range target area 2886.94.
Oh, really? 2910? That seems so close. So what are this one right here must be what? The ETH open at 2920.50? And then what is this one right here? That's not the hour? I don't know what happens there that's causing that line. No, that's the day. So then what's this?
Gary
This
Rich
line
says the
right here,
number is
don't know
low
what
due
that
to low
line is.
VIX.
Yeah. Oh, you're right. Totally right. So I'm gonna have to come in here and do some.
Bot says SBull, bear zone 2908.00 to 2910.00.
Okay, and then I'll make the week like pink or something. Okay, that is the week. Oh, right, because it's yesterday's open. Okay. Okay.
Gary Rich says, Seth, do you post those VIX areas somewhere?
The indicator, it's not. I don't think it's as accurate as what bots posts, because that one is in NinjaTrader, and like the spot that they pick is different, and I haven't quite figured out what it is. But I posted the indicator.
Bot says that line you're questioning at 2920.75 is the weekly open.
Yeah. But it's up there on TradingView. I posted the link a couple of times. Do you want me to go grab it again? So I've kind of been using the TradingView one, but I think the number that John posts is a little bit better. I'm not quite sure what the difference between them are, though, because
Gary
I wrote
Rich
them
says,
both.
no, I was just asking.
So I wrote them both. Yeah, no, I mean, I haven't been publishing it like that. Maybe we should.
Gary Rich says, I have my own version.
I gotcha. Okay, so they're coming there into that weekly open, and maybe they're gonna bounce. If I was swinging, I would maybe try and buy it right here, but I think that because we're doing it with this 1-to-1 ratio, we should let them resolve it. Okay. So now they're piercing it. There's still absorption down in here.
Gary Rich says you could just take
That's
a
pretty good.
screenshot with the levels to watch in Discord. Maybe it can help others.
Yeah, well, you know what, John? That's what you should do, is you should just take a picture of it and post it in the equity indexes channel.
Bot says, by the way, the number is different on a different time frame chart using this indicator you built for NT8.
Right. Yeah, it has to do with your session template in the NinjaTrader, because it's basically when the session starts is when it measures it. Whereas on the TradingView one, I have a specific time set. But yeah, this is splitting hairs. They're going to be similar. Yeah, it's pretty aggressive selling so far. So to take the month, it's still 2871.50, which is a little too far away to consider at the moment.
Gary Rich says yes, just let them know when it starts from when. So you don't get accused of being wrong.
Oh, right.
Bot says, but why would that change from a 1 to a 5 to a 15-minute chart if the value of the indicator is tied to the open price?
Not sure. The bars could be slightly different. I mean, is it significantly different though? Like, that's the thing, is like, we're talking about a range that is probably going to be like a 5-point range anyways right now. So it doesn't have to be exact.
Bot says that makes no sense.
How far off is it?
Bot says 2 points difference from one to the next.
That's more than I would expect. I don't know. I think that we need to change yours to have a measurement time, and it will just measure it at the measurement time. You could still get difference from different bars because if you set your measurement time to be like
Bot says but the open prices are the same.
7, if you had it like 7:31, and then you were on 5-minute bars, then it might not get it until the next one. But I digress. I don't know. I have to debug it, which is hard because I don't get fixed data. Maybe I need to add it.
Gary Rich says it's hard to calculate the VIX range for a 5 minutes bar. One would need 5 minutes VIX data. A daily one is just as good.
Yeah, I think the daily one is what you want. Like trying to recalculate it over and over again, I haven't tried doing that, but just based on what I've seen, I don't think that it would have a ton of utility. Maybe on a really volatile day, but otherwise, like that initial targets that you get at the open pretty much tell you almost exactly where it's going to go. Okay, where are we at right here? 29, 16, 75. Treasuries did come up a bit. They're coming up a bit, but the pressure, the liquidity is subsiding. They're not
Bot
adding
says
here.
daily based on what opening price? Globex, RTH.
No, it's just. Let me show you. Let's look at the code. Gonna look at the code. Gonna show everybody. Because I didn't get the VIX data, so I just kind of didn't really finish or test it. Okay. There you go. So it adds the VIX data series on there with the same bars period as your main data series. It says if this bar is the first bar of the session. Oh, I see. No, if first tick of bar and is first bar of the session, then it calculates it. So you might be getting something where they don't line up, and what it considers to be the first bar of the session isn't actually the first bar of the session. Isn't actually the open price. I'm getting a buy here, by the way. But the data reset. You'd probably just have to go through it step by step and see what price it's actually picking out versus where it's supposed to. We could probably, the fix for it is to just say, if time equals this, then measure it. That looks like an okay price if you wanted to buy, but I'm not convinced. It's not certain if it's over. Almost. Cool. That one's maybe worth letting ride.
Bot says it's still puzzling if the calculation is based on the open price of 2,935.00.
Well, you'd have to debug it and see which price it's picking.
Gary Rich says for Globex session I use the NY close, the NY open I could recalibrate. The differences between previous close to new open are small percentage changes that it's almost overkill.
Yeah, well, we were just using the New York Open for both prices because it was easier that way. So I'm on the Trading View one. I'm pretty confident about what price it's using for that one, right? As soon as you see the dots change, that's where it was measured. Notice that they didn't make it to the downside target at 29.10. Upside target is about 29.60 or so. 29.59, but let's say it's 60. 29.60.
Bot says Gary is going to tell us that's wrong. He wanted us to use the prior close price.
No, I think you're misunderstanding what he's saying. So let me reiterate. He's saying it doesn't matter. This is not like an exact price, right? It's a ballpark estimate of where it's going to go. It doesn't have to be exact to the number. In fact, two points difference isn't going to make a huge difference for what we're trying to do, right? Because this is not like a line where you want to hold 1 point of risk and fade it or something like that, right? This is really more of a, okay, if I bought at the open and I got a pretty good run in my favor and I want to hold it, how long can I hold it before it really starts to become like crazy for me to continue to hold it? And either of the numbers that we're putting out there are going to be close enough. So it doesn't matter. You know what? I never turned on my lights back here. It looks so drab. Let's fix that. Oh, I feel so more energetic, don't you think? Okay. Oh, we need to need to pull these. Need to give myself some better levels here. Okay. Opening range low 29.19. Previous open 29.2075. Interesting. Okay. I don't think I want to mess with that one. I'm just going to pretend. Yeah, see, that's not cool. All right, I made the right choice. So I saw a potential support price where I could try and take it on it flipping, but they hit into it with a sweep. And so I was thinking that maybe some more people would come in and see that sweep and sell it, and they did. So they're still tinkering around with like that weekly open price. It seems like they're going to give it another try. Now the issue is that like the next shoe to drop is still down at like 28.70, 150. So which is quite below our targets. So in order for them to hit the next area that I would say that like the next shoe to drop to cause another significant wave of selling, they would have to go much further than the VIX is projecting that they will. So I think it's an okay bet to be going long down here.
Kevin Wimmer says so the US session is doing the opposite of the EU session? At least yesterday and today, lol.
It sure seems like it, right? Like they're doing the tag team. Like if the US session sells on the end of it and you go, oh, this is pretty bad. If we wake up tomorrow and we're lower, then we could get an outright sell day. But then the Europeans buy it up. And vice versa. If the Europeans sell it down and we open up the session down and we're like, okay, maybe if they push it down a little bit, we could get an outright sell session, and they're able to hold it, and you get this slow melt up. That it's like they're doing tag team to prevent the market from crashing. This is what it looks like. Okay, so there was some significant. All right. Absorption there. Very nice. Oh, that I'm really happy with that one right there. If I was scalping, I think I would go long there. $85. Okay, so they coming back down. I want to see what they do in the E-mini at 29.17. You can see he's still there, kind of buying it up. I don't think I want to get involved in that one because they're probably going to test him. Okay. Missed it. There's a previous open. There's some pushback there. Nope, 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 nope. I think that one. So I think the thing that I wasn't seeing on that last one was that there is a range here, and that price was not a very wise price given the range. I thought that they were just going to shoot back up, but I should have known better. So that one I think was a mistake. Okay, here's 17 again. They're still absorbing there. Oops, misclick. Okay, well maybe it turns out anyways. I wanted one tick lower. It didn't matter. See the people that are buying down here at the bottom, they think that they're going to get a bounce and they're afraid of missing it. So you can see when it goes down, and then when they do buy it, it goes up like 4 ticks. It's because they think that there's a bounce here and they don't want to miss it. I think that's my theory. Oh, you know what? Sorry, I didn't have the thing on here.
Gary Rich says get ready for the dog and pony show. Fauci getting ready to testify on Capitol Hill. This is gonna be fun. Watch those levels on indices.
Yeah, it's...
Gary Rich says turn on the TV, these politicians in their mask. I'm laughing so hard. Kevin Wimmer says so guys, I wanna talk about the NQ. When do you think they are going to make a new all-time high? Yesterday they were only 400 points apart. Less than the Dow from the weekly highs, lol.
Well, it makes sense to me that the NASDAQ has been doing better than the other indexes. I'm not sure if a new all-time high is reasonable, let's say, but you know, what are you going to do? Oh, there was a little flip there in the 10-year, by the way. I wonder if they want to buy it again. Anyways, I mean, the tech companies aren't going to be as affected as heavily because the tech sector, like businesses that are doing technology, haven't really had to shut down. They can just do everything that they do remote. So your Microsofts and your, everything else.
Gary Rich says the
Amazon.
Big Five and Nas lifts it. The Nas biotech sector is up huge.
Oh, Nas is up huge. Now, Apple is one that is a little perplexing to me because I don't think that very many people are like just chomping the bit to buy Apple stuff right now. And that's because they're almost entirely consumer stuff, right? But they look unstoppable. So that one I'm a little unsure about. But yeah, I mean, it doesn't surprise me that the NASDAQ is up and that they're bullish and that they're up more than the other ones. I just kind of question how far can you go before it becomes an unreasonable valuation. And I'm not somebody that's going and doing a calculation on all of those things, but it sure seems a little odd to me that they would be near all-time highs when things still look so grim. So there was a sell. They're still holding the 17 area though. I don't know if I got the best price there. Cool.
Kevin Wimmer says the Nasdaq does also have some non-tech stocks, like Starbucks, Ulta Beauty, Pepsi and so on. Iwo Severin says 2,920 on SPX as heavy level.
Yeah. Well, so what you're getting at, I'll go through it again, but when you look at the VIX and you kind of try and extrapolate where the VIX is pricing that the indexes could go, the downside target was 29.10 and 28.85. And then when you look at price levels, like where do a lot of large institutions have positions, and a lot of it is from the open. So 29.20 rather, is both the daily and the weekly open. So there's definitely interest in that price at 29.20. But the monthly open is down at 28.7150. So that would be like the next shoe to drop. And that's why I think that you're seeing buying in this 29.17 area, is they're basically expecting a bounce. That they're expecting a probe of the daily open and then a bounce higher. And I'm not gonna like predict if they make it or not. I guess my gut would say that it's going to bounce, but I don't really have any kind of edge that tells me that it's going to, so I'm not gonna make that as a prediction. Seth, did you explain there's a VIX index for NASDAQ, Dow, Russell, and the 10-year? Well, there is. So let me explain. Actually, I will go over that. So here's my indicator. All right. When you come into it, you can change which index you're using. So you can add it to the NASDAQ and anywhere else, and you just have to know what the volatility index for it is. Cool. I might even make one where you can just put the number in manually if there's not an index for it. But anyways. So yeah, what the market is basically saying is they want to sell, but the VIX is saying that they can't sell it enough to really get the spot where you would get a significant downturn. So the larger setup for the sellers here doesn't look very good. If I was a big bear and I really wanted to tank the market, this right here, this moment right here, isn't it. It doesn't look like the greatest setup. I'm not saying that it can't fall apart. It totally could. It doesn't look like the high probability setup. So they're playing the bounce right now. So let's see what they do. But I think that there's a good chance that we're going to bounce and go back to the open from here. That's kind of the play right now. So we'll see if they do it or not. Like I said, not a prediction. You gotta be careful, because I'm sorry if it seems like I'm being like really wishy-washy about this, but I had some people yesterday claiming that I made a prediction that I didn't. So what happened yesterday was, going into the close, I was watching my footprint chart. I don't trade, after the stream, generally speaking. Sometimes I do if it's like a really slow day and I'm testing stuff, but I typically don't look at stuff, and I'm definitely not trading live. Like, honestly, when I trade live after my time period, it's the disaster, and I can't keep my focus, and so I just keep it limited to when we're streaming. But anyways, I was seeing some absorption on the candles on the footprint chart, so I posted about it in Discord. I said, "Oh, look here, there's definitely some buying the dip going on." So I did that, and then I stepped away, came back and saw the close price, and then saw that after the close there was a big sell-off, and so I said, "Damn, they really sold it afterwards." Well, somebody that I guess doesn't really watch the stream and doesn't know my habits thought that I had bought it going into the close and tried to hold it, and then got washed out when they sold afterwards. which kind of makes me mad. And this is why I'm talking about it, because it would be really irresponsible, in my opinion, to be trying to hold a position around there. And it makes me mad that anybody thinks that I would be trading at that time. Like, seriously, so if you can trade around that time, there's always that news event, essentially 10 minutes before the close. And I would be getting out before that, just like any other news event, right? Like, there's a possibility of volatility there that you don't necessarily want to be on unless you have some sort of an edge that is able to predict which way that one is going to go. And then in the close, I mean, man, there's so much volume. And then after the close, you're just talking about extended session chop based off of people trying to play earnings. So, and I don't know if it was earnings that pushed us down or what, but it's just not a spot that I would recommend taking a trade. So they think, because of what I said in Discord, that I was saying that you should buy. And they were claiming that they traded against me and made money off of me. But I had not taken a trade, and I bet you that they were not in a trade at that time either. I think that the individual that was saying this is just lying through their teeth. And they're gonna they should produce a broker statement showing that they were actually in a trade at that time, because like I just don't think that is like an advantageous place for a retail trader to be taking positions. You know what I mean? So anyways, but they were trying to use it to promote another channel, which is unfortunate. So now I'm trying to be super cautious about, because I feel like that you guys understand the amount of uncertainty that I put in everything. Like, what I'm trading, especially this week, for a point, is so short term. Like, honestly, we know that there's always a really good chance that things are going to turn around, and we can't really predict it. And I don't try. But I still notice things, and I still play out scenarios in my head. Like, okay, I see what's going on. Right now, they are trying to buy the dip after they tried to take the week negative. So they're going to try and make it bounce back to the open. I don't know if it's actually going to do it. It's not a prediction. I feel like most of you guys understand that, but apparently I have to be super cautious because people are out there saying stuff like this. So now I'm trying to be like extraordinarily specific about that. That I don't know what's going to happen. That is that. Y'all with me so far?
Gary Rich says, how funny. That's like counting raindrops in a storm and being accused for being off by a drop or two. What a bunch of emotional hemophiliacs.
Right. Well, the silly thing is that when I saw that buying, if it wasn't a call, it wasn't a trade call, but if you had taken a long in that location where the footprint chart was showing absorption, you would have made money going into the close, assuming that you sold the close, right? Or you had a good stop. So, but I think that this individual doesn't even, I don't think that they watch the stream. I don't think they know me. I don't think that they really are paying attention to what's going on. They're just trying to promote themselves. And so what they're doing is they're making like really silly lies, right? Like just like really silly, nonsensical lies that don't really make much sense. Like, why would you, like if you faded that trade, you took a lot of fucking heat to hold it and then finally get the dump afterwards, right? So he's like, but the thing and I guess the other thing that I bring it up is because, man, people are so fucking gullible. Like, man, seriously, I don't think that any of those guys are watching. I wish that they were, because every time that they come in, like, we gain new subscribers, and they kind of they get red pilled essentially. But like, seriously, if you're in that room and you're seeing that and you believe him and you think, oh yeah, that was a good trade, I should have taken that trade, you are an idiot. Like, you are really dumb. You are too stupid to trade. Give up now. Save yourself so much grief. You're too stupid to trade. Because if you faded that, you took a huge move up going into the close, and it wasn't until after the close, and you're taking on tons of risk and volatility. I don't think that even the person that's lying about this is dumb enough to be taking a trade like that. I think he should produce a broker statement proving that he was in at that time. Right?
Gary Rich says next time respond back with this. Stop acting like a monkey humping a doorknob or picking corn from your poop.
Dude, gross. Oh, dude. No, like, I mean, here's the thing. It's so hard because I don't like talking about other people. I think that the way that you lead people, I mean, I look at it from that perspective because, we're running a room and I'm kind of in charge. And so it is like you have to look at it from the perspective of a leader. And you don't lead by punching down, right? I mean, there's the politics thing where, you attack your opponent and everything. But for your people, you don't help your people by attacking other people, right? You help your people by making your people more effective. And that, in my opinion, is my job, is to make you guys more effective, better traders. And there are different ways that I can do that, right? I can keep you engaged and interested so that when the market is really dull, you're not completely bored out of your mind and you have somebody to talk to so that you can stay focused, right? Providing that entertainment, I think, can provide value to you and make you better. We can give you information. We're sharing information with each other. We're all getting better, and that's why the channel works, is because everybody around us is getting better. And when you go and you attack other people, it doesn't help anybody. So I don't like talking about it. But at the same time, I think it's just like a natural human nature, to gossip and to talk about things like that. It's really hard, like, to look at it and not laugh about it, right? Like, I want to talk about it with you guys because it's so fucking hilarious that people would say that sort of stuff and try and lie about it. But if we focus on it too much, then it could be detrimental to all of us. So we probably should leave it at that, right? That is,
Kevin Wimmer says, so you are telling me to stop trading and go
there
gamble?
you go. Just go gamble.
Gotcha.
I mean, that's what most people in futures are doing anyways, right? Well, I don't think most people think that they're doing something that has edge. This is a problem, I watched who. I'm like, dude, don't play your video game while the algorithm is working. What a joke. Oh, really? Yeah. I don't think we've never actually played a game on the stream, have we? We need to get, because there were some people were saying in Discord that we should play some stuff. There was that game, People of Salem. That would be a fun game to play a couple of times. I'm trying to wonder how you could do it on the stream so that like everybody on the stream could like participate at the same time and be on the stream or in Discord or something and actually talking to each other on Discord without like revealing anything. You know what I mean? That would be interesting. But there were some other suggestions on games. But now I'm this OSU thing. Is that how you say it? OS? It's spelled OSU. I'm not sure if I should be embarrassed to admit that I'm playing this game because it's like all like Japanese anime up, super cheesy everything. But it's a mouse control game combined with beat, so it's like a Guitar Hero with a mouse, and I really enjoyed it because I like these games. I'm used to playing games where, a high level of precision and speed is a key component. And this game doesn't really give me that like in your face action, but it does satisfy that desire to, like, use your mouse accuracy and click on a bunch of things. So I loved it, but I don't think that we'll ever do that. Anyways, I digress. So they tried to bounce. It's been down here for a while. They could still do it, but I must admit that when I initially set out this scenario in my head, that again I don't know if it's going to happen or not, but I kind of thought if it did happen that it would happen faster, that it would have happened 15 minutes ago. But we'll see how they do. I mean, they got plenty of time, and we've seen so many of these moves where it's like the London close, they turn, and then after the London close, they just move up and up and up, and it's like the most clear straight trend you've ever seen, and it makes no sense, but that's been happening a lot lately too. So let's just kind of wait and see what happens. This last move down looks a little overextended. Yes, we were talking about the one who I hate being like, I hate giving somebody the power of like, oh, we can't even say their name, but I don't want to give people publicity, so we avoid mentioning their name so that they don't get hits from it. But yes, that's who they were talking. Somebody sent me a screenshot from their Discord, which and so here's another thing, like if you see somebody else talking about me or saying dumb things like that on another Discord or whatever that we know are not true, don't tell me. Don't tell, because it really doesn't. I mean, I guess it's entertainment, but it really doesn't help me at all. Because what are we gonna do if there's something that we can like I should be reporting? Then for sure, like if they're breaking YouTube terms of service, which has happened. They were saying I was ugly, which was kind of funny, but you can report that. But otherwise, it's like I might as well just not even have it on my mind, Well, they made a little push there, but it looks like it held again. How many have I taken? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 70. Hey, I think I hit my goals. I think I'm done. Huh.
Gary Rich says it would be me selling a algo box trading system. Show the algo trading and in the corner of the screen stream giving the dog a bath. Stupidity beyond stupid.
Yeah, I don't get it either. One of the things that's kind of weird to me, and I give you guys a tip, because I like to see other YouTube channels. I really do.
Kevin Wimmer says you still remind me of Agent 47 from the Hitman series, though.
Oh, thank you. Right, I polish it every morning. No. No. So these guys, I don't know if you watched it, but I really enjoyed it. There's these guys, Ghost Squawk, and I guess they kind of got their own thing that they're selling, but they have a stream and it's free, and I say that they're pretty good guys. And they told me that, like, oh look, there was that bounce. That the way that they set their stream up, that they took a lot of inspiration from watching our stream, which I really appreciated. You can go back and find that we did like a 2-hour interview with me that I really enjoyed, and it's like really dense. It's like 2 hours of talking with Speculator Seth if you didn't get your fill for the day. But I think that when you have a group of streams, together, it synergizes, and it's good for the community. Like if my stream is good for the community, then other good streams have to be good for the community too. So I absolutely love to see other streams. A nice camera, some lighting, a little bit of lighting for the background and everything, just so that we could have this face-to-face connection for even if it's not there for whatever it is worth. That's important to me. And when I see a stream where the video feed crooked, yeah, I kind of got that too. It's kind of reloading there for whatever reason. My ISP might be doing some weird. You missed the last 3 minutes of the rant. That's funny. No, but anyways, when I see streams, and it seems to me to be quite common actually, where they're not showing their face and they're not really talking to the stream, I'm like, what? You're like missing out on like the best part, which is the connection with the person you're watching. Otherwise, you might as well just watch CNBC, right?
Kevin Wimmer says it bots because I exposed his real identity.
Agent 47, yes, that's my.
Bot says Agent 47.
You got me, guys. After the stream, I'm planning on going to Europe, and I have a couple of targets that I have to deal with. Yeah, you got me. No, I don't think I'd be cut out for that work. I don't know. You know, it was one of those things like, was the movie good?
Gary Rich says Agent 47 good movie.
So I'm familiar with the games, but I've never played them, and I haven't watched that movie. I wonder. So when I saw that there was that bounce back up to 29.19, I thought, oh, okay, maybe they're going to go, but look, it's still range bound, so not done yet, and we're still in the counter trend period too, by the way. So another 10 minutes. I'm actually really glad that I didn't try trading this time. We could still take some more, but I think that I accomplished what I wanted to accomplish.
Says he'd make a good transporter too in his tricked out Toyota Corolla.
You know what? I totally watched that movie. So around the time, so I'm balding.
Bot says rolling on the floor laughing.
I tell you what, balding is an interesting thing if you haven't gone through it, because it, like, your head gets greasy. It's really the oil that your scalp produces that kills the hair is really quite gross. Not to gross you out, but I started balding when I was 19. I realized what was happening, and I was quite unhappy about it, because people always complimented me on my hair. I have pretty blonde hair. It's very, I don't know if you can, well, you can see it on my beard. Like, there's no coloration in my hair at all. It's dark, but it's just a dull blonde, almost the color of ash. Like, my hair, when I cut my hair in the shower and pick it up off the floor, it looks like soot. But before, I had bright blonde hair, and we would always spike it out in the front. That's the way that we did it, because that was the style that got started by that kid in Seventh Heaven, and people said I looked like him. So I liked my hair, and then when it started falling out, I was upset. Now my little brother, he's losing hair too, but his hair, he had grown out so long that you can't really tell, and it'll probably be a while before he will. I wish I had done that. I wish I had grown it out just to know what it was like to have long hair, but now I will never know. So it took a long time, and I was just, dealing with it like it was fine, but it got to a point where it was like the sides of my head grew so much faster than the top of my head. I was just sick of it. And so I asked the guy, I was like, do you think, can I go bald? And he's like, well, it kind of depends, because you have to have the right head shape and things like that. But it looks like that you're okay. So I did it. And you know what? Just the convenience of it alone, like not having to go in and get a haircut all the time, it makes it worth it, right? just that alone. But at the time I was like, well, okay, there's some guys that are bald. Like how can I kind of, what take inspiration from their style to see what I can do with my style being bald? And the transporter was one of the ones that I looked at that I was like, oh, okay. Like this is a guy that his style is pretty good. Like, yeah, I totally did that. I totally looked at him, and I tell you, that's the way. What you want to do is you want to find somebody that looks like you but is famous, and then wear what they wear, and people always think that you're wearing good stuff. Or if you're a girl, go find an Instagram model. Your Instagram model look. I have Instagram model lookalikes of my wife that I use to try and determine what I think we should buy her for clothes. It works, I'm telling you. It probably sounds super weird saying that, but it's an effective strategy. I think they still might pull this bounce out, but look, it's being super sketchy about it, isn't it? Oh, it's still the counter trend time period. Let's give it another 5 minutes. I'm wondering, I remember the other day. So let's just watch this. But there was a couple of days ago. I think it was like last Wednesday, Thursday, and right at 10:45, there was this huge sweep sell, and then that was like the bottom, and it just went up. It just went up after that. So let's watch. Let's see here if in 5 minutes we see something weird.
Gary Rich says if you stream in drag for 1 week, I guarantee you will have 1K viewers.
No.
I will promote it on every social media site.
No way that's happening. Definitely not. Oh, man. I mean, I don't want 1K viewers for one thing. To be honest, we've been a little bit lower today, I think, right? We got like, what was peak? Oh, it's not telling me today. It got rid of that metric. Why did it do that? It used to say what the peak concurrent viewers was. It looks like it was 37. For a while there last week, we were at 50 peak concurrence, and that was starting to make me nervous. I was like, we're getting too popular, guys. I think what's happening now, I have a theory on this. I'm just babbling now, but heck, it's 8:45. We can just babble. I think we'll go to the top of the hour. I don't think I'm going to take any more trades today, though, because I just explained why here again. So the goal was to take 5 ticks risk, 5 ticks profit, and to get a 75% win rate is the goal, and we did that. And don't have anything special or anything. I'm just kind of reading the order flow, and I think I did a lot yesterday. There was a lot of places where I took some trades that I really shouldn't have, and that one mostly ended up being a wash. But today I was able to identify some places where we really was getting some trend, and I was able to pull a little bit out, and I'm quite happy with it. If I was able to keep those numbers out, this could be a profitable way to trade. I don't think that this is necessarily a profitable way to trade and the way that you should trade. But if you hit a 75% win rate, it can work. I don't think that I'll be able to keep that high of a rate, but let's see what happens, right? Let's just keep practicing. I want to keep doing it this week. I want to build that skill up because I think that that's an important skill that's hard to duplicate and a place that we can find more edge. Anyways.
JB says got here late. Sounds like I am missing a fun AM.
Yeah, I guess we just kind of were going off the rails. What was I going to go into before I said that? The Senate hearings are giving opening statements. Okay. I was talking about how so I have a theory about what happens. I think that what YouTube does is it says, okay, here's a channel, and it looks at your viewing habits and it says, we think that you would enjoy this channel. I don't think that they do it by video. I think they specifically say we think that you and this YouTuber should get together. I think you really like this guy. And then what it does is it picks a recent video to suggest to them. And I think that what is happening is because I posted the video on Monday for why most day traders fail, which is doing quite well, by the way. It has a very high click-through rate, or it did. Let's actually go look. I think we should go look. You want to look at my analytics with me? Right here. Okay, so it has decreased a little bit, but at one point it was a 10% click-through rate, which is really good. That's way better than I've done. We can see. Okay, well, not all of the reports are on there, but 65% is really good too. So because the video stats are so well, it's showing people that rather than the stream. And that's why it's not pushing as many people to our stream this week.
Bot says, I think you were talking about the Instagram models you're following to help you pick out your drag outfit.
No. Oh, it's so funny. I don't, it's so funny the way that social media has gone, because I watch TikTok. Like, I know that the Chinese are listening in on you and they're passing you propaganda. It's so like I'll watch a video, right? Like somebody comes up and they're talking about communism, and so I'll watch it because I want to argue with them. Like, that's just my natural. But then if you watch it, they start sending you more of that guy's video and all of this nonsense. And so it's kind of turned into, if I start hearing a political opinion, and if there's anything even remotely dumb about it, I just swipe, because I don't want to be recommended that stuff more, even though I like to be exposed to other people's ideas. But it's got to be like, you have to expose me to good creators that actually can make good arguments. And unfortunately, there aren't really any of those out there that are supporting communism. But I digress. I do the TikTok thing. Instagram has basically, it used to be Instagram was the thing. I remember when we were doing Facebook, there was a lot of activity in like the Facebook groups for the local rave scene. And that was like the center of everything. There used to be a forum, but the Facebook groups killed the forum. And then Instagram came along and killed the Facebook groups, right? But now like nobody uses Instagram. Like Facebook, I don't know what it was that they did, but like they totally ruined it, and it's not interesting anymore.
Kevin Wimmer says, I guarantee you, if you convince people you retired as Mr. Clean, you will have 5K viewers.
No, I need to wear a white shirt every day, and that'd be funny. Maybe I can convince them to put me in a commercial. That'd be great. Make videos of me cleaning things. What do I do in my spare time? And it can just be a video of me in a white shirt cleaning the house. With I think I should do that. I'm going to tell my wife and see if she has any ideas on that one. See if maybe she has some ideas to make that into a truly entertaining video. The thing is I'm not a cleaner. Not that I don't like cleaning or anything. I'm actually pretty high in terms of those attributes that would make somebody clean. By the way, the 845 did come. I haven't seen anything. I'm pretty high in those attributes that make people like clean freaks. My mom, she like honestly enjoys cleaning. It's so weird. And she wants it to be done a certain way. Maybe part of it is because of her, because it was always like, if I cleaned something, I did it the wrong way. You know what that's like? But I think that it wasn't so much it was the wrong way as so much as it wasn't her way. And she would rather do it herself. I think that's why that was a thing. But because I'm ADHD, when I get into cleaning something, I always get so overwhelmed. Like, I just see all of this stuff everywhere, And I'm like, well, where does this go? Where does this go? And I think that my wife and my mom just pick things up and put them wherever they feel like, which drives me crazy. It's like, no, now I lost the thing because somebody moved it. Happens to me all the time. Had a nice little coaster to put my water on that I got from Epic Games for Unreal Tournament that was leather with a giant U in it. And somebody moved it. And I can't find it. It's gone. I think it's gone for good. They gonna go for new low? Let's see what they do. Anyways, so I feel like I avoid cleaning, like subconsciously avoid cleaning. Like I'll say, oh well, I should clean and do the dishes and stuff, but then I think that I subconsciously avoid it because I don't like the, it feels overwhelming to me.
Bot says no, just stand there with your arms crossed in front of you, like you do now when your wife cleans the house.
No. You know what? I actually, we've been here with this quarantine. The kids have been here this whole time, and the house really hasn't gone that dirty. And it's not that my wife has been cleaning a ton because really she's spending almost all her time with the baby. The kids have just been cleaner, I think. They limited their mess to the room downstairs, which was a total disaster until they cleaned it for when their cousins came. But everywhere where we live, it's been good, and I'm quite proud of them. So, anyways.
Kevin Wimmer says from Wiki, a fixer who disposes of bodies or other evidence of crime is often called a cleaner. Mr. Clean exposed as Agent 47 confirmed.
Oh my gosh. We're gonna have to make this into today's title. Speculator Seth's exposed as Agent 47 / Mr. Clean. Will that fit? Will that fit?
Gary Rich says I bet Seth would look good in a French maid's outfit while cleaning. What a TikTok video that would be.
There, I'd change it like that. Agent 47, Mr. Clean. Oh man, what does John got here now?
Bot says there's the logo for your stream.
Oh yeah, of course. I don't have to wear an earring though, man. No thanks. No thanks. Maybe a fake earring, but I don't want to pierce my ears. That just the thought of that makes me no. I do not want. Usually these guys that they have like those gauges. Man, it used to be a really popular thing here in Utah. And they would get like big ones. Why would you do that? I just don't understand.
JB says gotta dye the eyebrows.
Like it's not that that I think it looks bad. I mean, I do think it looks bad, but hey, like some people think things that look cool. Like it gives me an icky feeling, and I don't understand why I get that icky feeling and they don't when they're thinking about having gauges in their ears. Like, oh, gross. Why would you do that? Oh, I didn't spell exposed correctly. Exposed as Agent 47, Mr. Clean. There we go.
Bot says they think they're a conduit.
Gary Rich says is the screen black or did I go blind?
You know what? I don't know if, I mean, the stream kind of gave a little chop there at 1.2. I'm not skipping any frames or anything. Oh, actually, there was some dropped network frames. Wonder if I have to go back and look at my logs. There's actually a significant number of. So what might have happened is some data got dropped, and you missed a keyframe, and so it shows it black for a few seconds until another few seconds has passed, and you get another keyframe. So what a keyframe is it's a frame that says this is like the main frame and everything else is going to be based off of this, and that's how they compress things. So the more often that you send a keyframe, the more data it requires, but the more smooth that the stream will appear. That's so like you ever been watching a video and like all of a sudden it's just like all garbled up? That it has to do with the keyframe. My understanding of it. I'm not an expert on video encoding. Video encoding is such a complicated subject. I tried getting into that, and it was over my head. I that was like the limit of like my attention span. Maybe if I needed to do it for a living, maybe I would get into it, but it was beyond my attention span. Okay, so they tried for that low again. They didn't quite make it. They're buying it up again. Let's keep the stream going for another 5 minutes. We'll just watch it, see what happens. Oh man, oh, it's over here. I'm like, where did my little position window go? Because I want to take a picture of that one. Failed breakout into squeeze the shorts? I think so. Ran out of requests here. Yeah. Oh, actually, not quite yet. We can read Kevin's.
Kevin Wimmer says failed breakout into squeeze the shorts.
Oh no, that's interesting. Oh, that's so weird. So I ran out of requests, and now it's giving me more. Well, maybe YouTube changed something. Hey, YouTube, if you changed something and you finally gave us more requests, I really appreciate it. Thank you so much, because your API is just driving me crazy. Oh, I don't want to get into that. That is longer than a 5-minute rant, and you've heard it before. So it squeezes shorts, but like, look, they're on the top side of it. Like, there's still going to be sneaky around here, I think. There it went. There it went.
Kevin Wimmer says it wasn't YouTube, it was I, the Chinese government, your friend and helper.
Oh, thank you so much, my friend and helper. Oh, I get a forbidden. Wait, why would it do that? Huh. That's so weird.
Gary Rich says just broke Uber approach Grubhub for a takeover offer.
Oh, Uber and Grubhub? So I'm just thinking about what we did today. It did work. I hit the goals. I think that you could keep trading it and then it would be worth it. But at the same time, it was like, but we could have bought 29.50 and we would have made more, right? So it's fun though. I think that it's a useful exercise. They did come up there. They did make it a little bit higher. We'll see. It's going to take them a little bit longer to get above the open, right? Wait, where was the open? Oh, it's not showing it to me. Okay, so now I have to go back and find it. It was 29.35. So they've still got a good 10 points to go. They still got a good 10 points to go. But for the time being, it looks like that they're bouncing it again. So we'll see what happens. Anyways, I kind of want to see it die here. What is going on? Did I not snow? I definitely started it, and look, it has given me the message.
Gary Rich says Uber, Grub, Shopify, Zoom, e-gaming, e-sports and more all part of the disruption of traditional entities.
The esports thing is really interesting. Esports is not in a good spot right now with this, because you would think not. You would think, well, it's online gaming, right? So they should be doing, but no, because they still do live events, and they had recently put all of this investment into making live events. So like if you watch the StarCraft ASL League, they had just developed a new center so that they could have more people in there to watch their events, and it's a really nice event center to show this stuff off in. And yeah, they're probably going to lose money on it. I don't know. So, or at the very least, it was a waste because people can't use it right now. And all of these guys did that. So they're all kind of taking it on the nose. And then the Overwatch League is kind of like a little kind of in a weird spot. Like a lot of people are leaving and stuff because the game is not doing very well.
Gary Rich says e-gaming and esports has more viewers than NFLX, Hulu, movies and more. 600 mil watching.
I think long term though, yeah, I think that they're a good spot. They're a spot that you could invest. There was this thing going on where like Kevin Kotick and guys were coming in and just saying, "Oh man, this is this great thing," and they were just throwing so much money at it, and they were being very irresponsible with it. So it was inevitable that there was going to be a pullback. But we're at that spot where it's like, like Amazon was, like the tech bubble. We just had the bubble, the esports bubble, and it's going to come down. And now is the spot to buy it for like true gain. Although I don't know if there's really any stocks that you can really truly take advantage of esports. Like you could buy like EA Games or Activision Blizzard, but there's other things about those companies that I don't necessarily like in terms of a stock. Like Activision Blizzard, their CEO should go, in my opinion. I'm you know what? This is like too big of a thing. Maybe you ask me about it again later, but I feel like that there is a takeover opportunity there.
Gary Rich says do your own research. I'm very long ETF nerd.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that might be better. That actually makes a lot more sense. Yeah, anyways, I feel like that there's an opportunity to unlock some value from some of these companies, and they actually tried to do it, but then they backed off. It was unfortunate. Okay, so I will see you guys there. It finally. Well, look, it did it to me, and now it's giving me more. So they must have changed something about the quota where you get like so many, and then it gives me more, or something. That's kind of weird. Anyways, I don't know. So we'll see if they jump back up. I think it might happen eventually. We'll see. So I will look into that ETF for sure. I will see you guys tomorrow. And in the meantime,
JB says have a good one.
yeah, have a good one. In the meantime.